In the previous video, I told you to find the candidate key. We use a particular method which is known as the closure method to find the candidate key. Closure method, we find the closure of each attribute. And to find the closure of each attribute, functional dependencies are required. Firstly, that attribute is considered as a candidate key through which I can reach or access every other attribute of a relation, whether it is directly or indirectly. Secondly, it should be a minimal set of attributes. The candidate key should be a minimal set of attributes. Now, to know what is the minimal set or the properties of a candidate key and super key, watch my previous video on it, that is a candidate key and the super key. Let us see an example. There is a relation R with 5 attributes A, B, C, D, E, and these are the functional dependencies. F denotes the functional dependencies. There are 4 FDs, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here I am taking an example with the attributes A, B, C, D, E. Otherwise it could be the roll number, student name, marks, address, telephone number, etc. We are taking the attributes in general. Let us find the candidate key for this particular relation R and the given FDs. A determines BC, CD determines E, B determines D, and E determines A. Now we will start with finding the closure of each attribute. With the closure of A closure, the closure is represented as this A plus. With A, I can determine A. The A can identify itself with the reflexivity property. I have A with me. I will check in the above FDs, can I reach other attributes with the attribute A? So yes, there is an FD, A determines BC. So I can reach to BC with A. So here I will write B, comma, C. Now I have 3 attributes with me, A, B, C. With any of these, can I reach other attribute? Yes, B determines D and B I have. So with B, I can reach D. I will write D here. Now, can I reach, E is left. Can I reach E with any of these FDs? To reach E, I need C and D. So I have C and D here. So with these 2 attributes, I can reach to E. So I will write E here. So this is the closure of A. Now I will take out the closure of B. For B's closure, B can find itself, can reach itself using the reflexivity property. Now with B, can I reach to another attribute? Yes, B determines D. So I can determine D also. Now I have B and D. With B, I have determined D. With D, I can determine E. No, I cannot use this FD because to determine E, I need C and D both. But I have only D. I do not have C with me. So, I cannot reach to E. And I don't have A also here. I don't have A also here. So, I cannot reach B and C. Hence, this with enclosure of B, I can reach to only 2 attributes. Now I will find the closure of C. With C closure, I can reach to C itself. Then with C, can I move to any other attribute? I have only one attribute C. C is here, but with C I need D, but I do not have D here. So I cannot move further. This ends here. Now closure of D, D itself, no other attribute I can reach because with D I need C to reach E, but I do not have C here. So this ends here. Now E, closure of E. E itself, then with E I can reach A. Yes, I can reach A. With A I can reach to other attributes B and C. Next, I have B, and with B I can reach to D. So I will write here D. So all the attributes are covered, A, B, C, D, E. So this ends here. Now the attribute closure which contains all the attributes forms the candidate key of our relation. Let's check. The closure of A contains all the attributes A, B, C, D, E of the relation. So this will be the candidate key. B's closure does not contain all the attributes, so this will not be the candidate key. C will also not be the candidate key because it does not contain all the attributes. Similarly with D. E will be the candidate key because E contains all the attributes of a relation A, B, C, D, E. So the closure which contains all the attributes forms our candidate key. So there are two candidate keys, but there could be more candidate keys. Let us find the closure with the two attributes. With two attributes, the combination, all the possible combinations will be AB, AC, AD, AE, then BA. I will the next combination will be BA, but I have taken AB. So AB and BA are similar. BA I will not write here. BB is equivalent to B, then BC, BD, BE. Next combination, let me take all the possible combinations with C. So CA, that is AC I have taken, so I will not take CA. Then CB also I have already taken. Then CD, CE. Then comes with the attribute D. DA already taken, DB already taken, DC already taken, DE. Next comes EA. The EA already taken, EB taken, EC, ED and EE is equivalent to E. So we will take out the closures with these sets. So closure of AB. With AB, I can reach to AB itself. Now I have two attributes AB from A. According to this FD, A determines BC. From A, I can reach to BC. So B I have already written. I will write C. I have three attributes A, B, C. Now from B, according to this functional dependency, from B I can reach D. So I will write D here. Now with the combination of C and D, I can reach E. So I will write E here. Thus it covers all the attributes A, B, C, D, E. Similarly, the closure of AC, I can reach A, C itself. Then from A I can reach BC. So I will write B, C is already written. Now in the next FD from B, I can reach D and I have B with me. So I can write D here. Now to reach E is left here. Now to reach E, I need C and D, and C and D, I have both the attributes, so I can reach E also. Thus, it also covers all the attributes. These are the closure sets with the combination of two attributes. So AB's closure, it contains all the attributes A, B, C, D, E, and as I said, if the closure contains all the attributes, it forms a candidate key. But here we will not consider this as the candidate key because the definition of candidate key says minimal set of attributes which can uniquely identify a tuple. So here A is already a candidate key. With A, I am adding an extra attribute B. So there is no need to take this attribute or to consider this set AB as a candidate key because A is already identifying the tuples uniquely. Adding extra attribute, in the previous video, I explained that adding 0 or more attributes to a candidate key generates a super key. So this is a super key. This will be considered as the super key because this is the candidate key A and in A I am adding an extra attribute. So this generates a super key. Next AC, in this A is already a candidate key. So we will not consider this as a candidate key. This will be a super key although it contains all the attributes. But in AC, A is already a candidate key. So we will not consider this as a candidate key. Then similarly with AD, this will not be the candidate key. A is already a candidate key. So we will not consider this as the candidate key. BC. Now neither B is a candidate key, nor C is the candidate key. And all the attributes are covered A, B, C, D, E. So we will consider this as the candidate key. Next, BD is not covering all the attributes. BE covering all the attributes, but E already a candidate key. E is already a candidate key. B is an extra attribute, so this will be the super key, not a candidate key. C, D. Neither C is a candidate key nor D is a candidate key, but combining C and D we are getting all the attributes, so CD will be considered as the candidate key. Next, CE, E is there as a candidate key, so we will not consider this. DE is there as a candidate key, so we will not consider this. Hence, in the combination with two attributes, we found only two candidate keys, B, C and CD. Thus, in all, there are four candidate keys. In all, there are four candidate keys: A, E, B, C and C, D. These are the candidate keys for this relation R. Now let me tell you the short trick in finding the candidate key in the closure set with the two attributes. No need to do such a long process. Just there is a short trick. As you have seen that A and E were already the candidate keys. A and E are already the candidate keys. Then any attribute having E or A on the right hand side in any functional dependency will also be a candidate key. Means E and A, let us see, E and A is on the right hand side. A is here on the right hand side of this functional dependency, so E will be a candidate key, we have already found. Then E is on the right hand side of this functional dependency, so CD will also be a candidate key. We have done this. So this is a short method or short trick to find the candidate key. No need to take out the closure set of all the attributes. So E is on the right hand side, CD will be a candidate key, which we have done. Now you have to check the other FDs also. D, I can reach D through B. B determines D. So CD is a candidate key and D can be replaced with B because B determines D. So CB will also be a candidate key, which I have done here. So BC and CD. Because D, I have replaced D with B because I can reach D with B. Similarly, if you find the closure set with the three attributes like ABC, ABD, ABE, all these set will cover up all the attributes, but we will not consider those as the candidate keys because they will form the super key.